Eden+Fractal meeting number 27. We're going to go into the breakout rooms in just a couple minutes. We've been having a pretty hilarious conversation about people speaking different languages and getting things slightly wrong. But yeah, I'll leave it to Eric or Andrew, anybody if they want to share some about that. Also, I think Vlad is working on Vlalendas. We're discussing that. So breakout there. But hello everybody, thanks for joining. Hope you're doing well.
Hello, everyone. Good to be here.
Hey, Jesse. Yeah, great to see you. And also welcome Igur too. Hey, I'm not sure. Igor's been here for a while. I don't know.
Hello.
Oh, hey. Yeah, thanks for joining. And
Yes.
Feel free to
Good to
ask.
see you.
Oh, great to see you too. Yeah, absolutely. It's your first time here. I know you participate a lot in Genesis Fractal, and also you're doing all sorts of cool stuff with fractals. I think at some point, or you've been working on starting a fractal with some Russian speakers, if I remember correctly. But feel free to introduce yourself, or if you have any questions or thoughts you'd like to share, then yeah, feel free. We'd love to hear it.
Thanks for the introduction. Yes, I have done a lot of stuff for Fractal. I built this tool for voting. I call it Galaxy, and now I continue. And I will show maybe in breakout room, but it's very similar to other Pomelo project, Mindweb. It's very similar, so maybe we can collaborate on that. So very exciting about this.
Sounds great. Yep, Patrick just gave a thumbs up for anybody watching on Zoom who can't see that. But yeah, that'd be awesome to see. I know Eric has also been sharing some mirror board Mindwebs too, so you guys might want to discuss it. He shared, I don't know if you saw it, but he shared 2 mirror boards for the Center of Governance. But looking forward to seeing it. I see you also do like some fractal art, and the tool you built is really helpful. So yeah, I'm looking forward to learning more about it.
Mind maps is future of the internet. They will solve our problems of our conflicts, because conflicts always arise when there is lack of understanding, and when you could reach deeper understanding through increasing the detailization of understanding of each other's opinion, like you zoom in, like touch screen into other people's mind, and you see the shared roots of your understanding, and you arrive to consensus. That's the future of internet, where you can see the whole as single and everything.
Fascinating. Yeah, there's been some interesting comments in the chat. I think I'll start the breakout room in just a moment, so we won't be delaying it too much. I also have, as you're talking about future of the internet, it reminds me of, I've been working on something called Eden Research, which is kind of similar to Rome Research and different things, which is kind of like a mind map. So I'll share a link there in case you want to check it out. But yeah, looking forward to learning more about your project.
It's actually origin of the internet. Initially, Theodore Nelson called it stretch text. He invented hypertext, that normal links, how they work in internet, because before our technology was not ready for stretch text. But he also, in his book 50 years ago, described this future of stretch text, where the whole internet is mind map that you can scroll. And so mind map is original.
Just by the way, Igur, you keep cutting in and out. I think you're getting muted by accident or something like that. So I'm not able to hear everything that you're saying, but I'm able to hear most of it.
So I just mentioned that mind maps is original intention behind the internet. That's how internet was supposed to be like.
Okay, well, great. Yeah, and I agree. I'm very excited about the future of mind maps, and I'm looking forward to learning more about how you're working on and seeing collaborations with you and Patrick, and also helping out however I can. The internet can certainly be structured much better. I suppose that we're a few minutes over time now, so I'll start with the breakout rooms. And just by the way, Igur, I don't know if you have an EOS account, but that's something that would be helpful to submit the votes. And we have a tool that we'll share during the breakout rooms where you can do that. And yeah, just these breakout rooms will be 55 minutes. So we'll come back basically at the top of the hour. And I'll start the breakout rooms and hope everybody has a great time. Feel free to share any questions or comments. Hey, bro.
Good day.
All right, all right. How's everybody doing? Should we jump right into sharing consensus or sharing contributions? Or does anybody have any thoughts first to kick us off?
We are all shy.
How much time do we have here today in our breakout rooms?
We have 55 minutes. So we started 4 minutes late. So that will be until 16:59 UTC. Does anybody want to share your contributions first? I can also go first if anybody doesn't want to. I'm happy to do that.
Why don't you warm us up?
Sounds good. I'll warm us up. Okay, so I'll bring up my timer. And share a little presentation about things that I've been doing this week. Okay, so I have some exciting announcements this week. I am releasing 2 shows that I've been working on for a while. One of them is called Creator Talk. It's at creatortalk.show. This is actually the first time that I'm announcing it. I was trying to release it this morning. I'm going to release it later today or tomorrow. Been working on this a lot. This is a new podcast that I'm releasing and a new talk show where I'm going to be interviewing all kinds of creators and talking about collaboration, creativity, and a lot more. So I've been working on this website a lot, and I'm really excited about it. I did the first interview with Tadas about 7 weeks ago about the Eden+Fractal process. And then I made some videos that people can check out with cool music and cool visuals of the surfer dude going by and all sorts of fun stuff with the waves and the starry waves. So I'm excited about this. The first episode, as I mentioned with Tadas, it's about Eden+Fractal. I wrote a little introduction here about it, about how it empowers communities with profound potential for creative collaboration. That's a wonderful new way for people to cooperate. And then I also wrote a little about section about how we're just getting started. And I wrote a bit about me and a bit about what we're going to do with the show, and did a little intro video here too, where I come on and I talk about the show. And then I share a little bit of the websites I've been curating about Eden+Fractal and so forth. So really excited about this. There's also another page here, which is the interview with Tadas, where you can find the full interview. It's about 50 minutes long. We have a great conversation, and also show notes. This is still kind of in development, so I'm still adding a couple of things to this. Made a bunch of art, and then you can also find more about Tadas, a little personal note, timestamps from it, related media. I'm putting out some tweets. I'm going to be doing some swarms and spreading the word about Tadas and his Pomelo grant, and then links to related articles about Eden+Fractal and Albedo and different things related to that. So that's one of the things. That's one of the shows I'm really excited about. The other show that I'm going to be launching is Fractal Apple. This will be a new live stream show that I'll be doing. I'm planning to do it every week before the town hall, Sundays at 15:30 UTC. And the first one, I'm going to be giving out 500 EOS to public goods creators via Pomelo. So I'm going to be sharing how that works, as well as introducing the Eden Creators Pomelo grant and promoting people's work at the ecosystem. I'm planning to do this a lot more and do a weekly show, a little bit like I was doing the hot sauce a while ago, but for Eden and for practical cooperation, and also with more music and just having some more fun and laid back and stuff like that. So I started writing this. This is a little bit less in development. EdenCreators.com/Apple is where it's at right now. But I'm going to be doing more polish on this. But so far, I've been working on this website and bringing it together. I've been making a song too for this and doing lots of fractal Apple art with the Mandelbrot set. So I'm excited about this, and I've been doing kind of a collaborative process where I'm sharing the song making process and the process of everything. So I'll stop it there for now, but more coming there soon. I'm hoping to do the first episode tomorrow. I also released the first episode, produced the, or rather released the 26th episode of Eden+Fractal and made some timestamps and shared that in a bunch of groups to promote Eden+Fractal this week. And then I also, I just realized that this is cut off right now, so I don't know why that is cut off, but whatever. And then I also hosted the Eden Town Hall. There was about 7 of us here talking about a lot of great topics. And I'll release a bunch of town halls soon. I'm working on a kind of a backlog of a bunch of cool videos. And then, yeah, I also posted the consensus results, and I had to just work through some discrepancies for the discrepancy results for this week so that everybody got their respect. So there's a couple posts here. And we ended up giving James Mart a bit of extra respect because there's a couple things like technically where we had to do that. So you can see that chat in the Eden Discord. And I also followed up with some work on Vlalendas and just communicated in the chats about next steps for agenda systems, and for also thanks Lenny for sharing the recap and the hosting thing on the Go Fractally. So I've just been communicating there. But yeah, main things I've been working on this week, in addition to just regular stuff with Eden+Fractal, is releasing this Creator Talk podcast and releasing the Fractal Apple. And so I'll release that soon, and people can check out the interview with Tadas. And I hope you all enjoy, and I'll wrap it up there. I'd also be happy to answer any questions if there's anything that I didn't share properly. And then if anyone wants to go next. Then...
What kind of creators does your creator talk do you focus on?
Yeah, so it's all kind of creators. Like I talked about in the beginning of the show, how I'm really excited to interviews with inventors and developers and musicians and artists and visionaries and all sorts of different people who are just basically creating cool things for the world. And I'll also especially focus on people who are creating cool things that help people cooperate. So I'd love to do interviews with people who join these Eden+Fractal meetings. I think that would be really cool. If people are interested in doing an interview at some point, then feel free to reach out and let me know. And I'll also probably reach out to a lot of you guys in the future. And then also people who are outside of the EOS or blockchain or fractal ecosystem, and are just, you know, making cool music or making cool art or building cool things. Pretty open-ended. But then the first one is with Tadas, who of course is a great developer and thinker. And we talked mostly about Eden+Fractal, or Eden+Fractal rather, for the first episode.
I'm live now. Oh.
Okay. I suppose anybody can go next. If not, then I will nominate Eric to go next.
So I updated I'm trying to keep track of all the projects so that people know what they need and can help each other. So we've been collecting feedback on that, and I figured it was about initial form. So the initial mind map is up on that. We also updated the Center for Governance mind map, and we did a live stream where we talked about what would the Metaversal Welcome Center look like. That was pretty good. Working with trying to actually implement the fractal and all the principles and voting methodology here. The Fallbrook Art Association has agreed to go ahead with an initial fractal meeting. So I started working on the email to announce that to everybody with the executive director this week. I also want to do this as part of the dissertation so I can use more time and resources. And so I think I might have a dissertation chair this week. So I went with her and we went over the whole basic project. She's excited about it. I just need to get permission from the accreditation board to have her as my chair. We also started discussions with the high school about DAMS, actually, the Distributed Autonomous Media Studio. So we agreed to have a meeting to talk about integrating the high school with that DAMS. And I also talked about marketing using the bees with the Fallbrook Art Association Gallery. The whole point is to get a fractal up there using these principles going, market it, do it, make content for it. So it was a pretty good week for talking with people and moving ahead to actually doing it in January. So the biggest thing that I'm missing is to pick how we're going to get started with with what kind of rewards and the voting front end. So that's where I need the biggest help is voting and the front end that we're going to use to vote. Remember, these are people that don't know blockchain at all. So, and with that, I'll pass it to Evgeny, or is it, how do you say your name?
Evgeny.
Evgeny.
In Russian, it sounds like Evgeny.
Evgeny.
It's good.
I'll keep working on it.
I'm try to develop Russian-speaking community about EOS, and I continue to do this work. I translate some news and post it in my Telegram channel and on Twitter account. So on this week I made some news about block 1 donation to Eden+Fractal and about latest news. And I did some translation for EOS Support. I translated articles, and I'm working in EOS Support as an agent, support agent, and I tried. And I helped some people who have some problems and questions, but I have payment in EOS Support, so I don't think its work is available for Eden+Fractal. And I made my Pomelo grant, and when I try to promotion of this grant, and I going on. I chatting in different Russian community about some graphene project. For example, Steemit, Russian Steemit clone is called Golos, and there are some different clones, forks of original Steem code. And in those community, I asked people to support my Pomelo grant, and people discussion and make questions about EOS, and I tried to spread a lot of new information about EOS, because people, especially in the Russian community, are very, I don't know, very fat. A lot of people think in bad way about EOS, and they say all that fat that we know it because EOS is centralized, and they stole $4 billion and do nothing, and it's typical FUD. And I tell people about EOS Network Foundation and about Antelope and about working groups. And some people were surprised, and one of community leader in one of the our community decided to make an article about EOS in his community, and he asked me some questions. So I think it was useful work for EOS network, because I hope a lot of people who are interested in crypto, in technology, not like in pump and dump schemes, they knew learn new information from me. I think that's all that I did. So if you don't have any questions, I asked Tadas to continue.
Thanks. Okay, so what I did this week, I continue working on my fractal blockchains idea, which is part of Albedo project. I have a description about it in my new description, which I think is better on my Pomelo grant, so you can read more about it there. Yeah, and this week specifically, I finished basically high-level drafts of smart contracts, smart contract APIs, of solidity smart contract drafts that the system will use to basically verify these fractal blockchains on-chain as well as in the browser, so that people can use it without even using a blockchain, for example, sharing blocks through IPFS and, for example, and validating blocks in browser. Yeah, and so the idea is that people would be able to create a fractal DAO without having without having to have even a blockchain account of some chain, which I think is very relevant for what Eric is working on, and maybe I will get in touch with him more in the future. Yeah, other than that, I've been thinking about Vladlendas a lot, which we are trying to pass, and I made a lot of posts and just messages in the Discord, which you can see about. Basically, I answered some of the questions that I raised in the previous meeting, and yeah, and we had a discussion with Vlad. Yeah, so yeah, and I think this is about it for this week. And by the way, I'm making frequent updates about my progress on Albedo. I will share a link to it here. And yeah, that's all from me. Lenny, go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Tadas. Well, I'm the same old boring guy, you know. I post my little short for what I've done, and that's the usual story. Recaps, EOS Eden member group, and Eden+Fractal, and no invites. And last week I was level 3. So that's the short version. And then I've been, of course, Eden+Fractal now to read up Vlalendas and similar and ponder a little bit on those final small bits and pieces. And I'm not even sure yet, but we'll come to that later on after the breakout rooms, that we have the same terminology about different things, but we'll see, talk about that later. So I've been trying to wrap my hand around how to make sure that we're all saying and thinking the same thing when it comes to quorum and who is voting or not, etc., etc. But anyway, besides that, just my normal work, reading through, doing these stuffs, and no invites for the same reasons as earlier. So nothing much more to tell, I'm afraid. So I should be down there somewhere, you know. But let's see what Matthias have to say. Matthias was left, yes.
Yeah, thanks, Lenny. So yeah, I was working like every week the last months full-time on ZEOS. So for everyone who doesn't know what exactly that is, it's a protocol for private transactions on EOS. I've refined the concept over the last weeks to enable also private peer-to-contract transactions, which will enable things like private DeFi. So you will be able to interact with any kind of smart contracts who will implement this interface in complete privacy. No one, you know, without using an EOS account, you will use a ZEOS wallet address. And right, so I'm trying to onboard more people as well to help out with the development, because it's getting more and more now that the contract is done. There's a lot of front-end work to do. I'll just share the ZEOS dev channel here for anyone who wants to follow. We will keep posting more updates there. I'm also trying to get a weekly dev call to happen. Hope Dan can help us with that as well. Hosting these meetings, same like the weekly Fractally meetings that are coming up. So I want to start this ZEOS Fractal as early as possible, because there are already tons of things that need to be decided. And that's what I'm also very curious about, the process here that has been implemented very recently. I think Tadas is the main brain behind that, how to form councils and how to come to concrete decisions. So that is something I'm very interested about, and which is very much needed also for ZEOS. And yeah, what else? I mean, there are a million things I could go into detail now. I think I'll just keep it at a high level here. We still have 30 to 40 minutes. So if there are more questions, I'm happy to answer them. Yeah, I guess I will just leave it at that. You know, it's just too much to go into all the details here. We're super excited about finally being able to show the application that we've been building the last month. So it's really just a matter of days now to have a first version of that on the testnet. But we're not there yet. I was hoping to get this out like 2 weeks ago already, but you know, sometimes things just take a little longer than expected. So again, for everyone who wants to follow, join the ZEOS Telegram channels, the dev channel in particular, if you're more interested in everything that's happening behind the scenes, because this is something that's, you know, in the main channel, we're not talking about all the exciting stuff because it doesn't belong there. But, you know, I hope there will be more and more over the coming weeks. And yeah, if you have any questions, go ahead. I actually have a question for Tadas. If no one else has a question, I was just curious, what exactly is it that you were mentioning that you're building now? Can you just elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yeah, so like in October, I posted the article called Fractal Blockchains. So basically, it's the idea is that the root of Fractally process is these consensus meetings. Basically, if you read Fractally white paper, whole Fractally framework is trust in that system is rooted in these meetings. Everything like tokenomics, whole tokenomics flow from that. So basically, and these meetings happen every week. So basically, you could have a Fractal could have its own blockchain with blocks being created every week. It's too slow of a blockchain to host a transferable token, for example, but it's good enough for example, non-transferable token. And the cool thing is that because it's such a slow chain, it should be possible to fully verify this chain on existing normal blockchain like EOS. So you can create a smart contract which fully verifies this fractal chain. So basically what you have is Fractal is totally independent, totally in control of its consensus, which means that the decision about which chain to choose is less important. They don't need existing chain to choose, they can just have their own. And we also have an ability to integrate with existing chains, and we can integrate with multiple chains, because multiple chains can post smart contracts which read this Fractal blockchain.
My question would be, why basically a blockchain on another blockchain if you can hold all the information just in a smart contract state? Or am I missing something?
The answer would be is that Fractal might want applications like transferable token. You can't I mean, you couldn't host normal transferable token on this slow chain. So if Fractal wants to issue a normal token, it needs some faster, more performant blockchain. Yeah, and by the way, I would be very interested to hear your thoughts about it. If you have any feedback about the general idea, or have some.
Not yet at this point. But that's why I'm asking. I'm always curious what's going on, around me. Right now I'm so in the tunnel basically that I don't really have the time to catch up on other things. But I will look into it.
Thanks.
At some point. I couldn't even really catch up with all the proposals that are coming up. But I don't know, is there something that we already vote on in this, the agendas that you guys have been proposing? Are we already doing this in this meeting here, or if anyone can share some? Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe Tadas can share his perspective because he's been sharing a lot of thoughts about it as well. But basically, so we discussed it a lot last week during the meeting, and then also during the brainstorming session. And then this week, Tadas and Vlad and myself and also Bishop and a couple other people shared in the Eden Discord a lot of follow-up thoughts. And as of the beginning of this meeting, Vlad was working on making a more concise proposal that we could have like word for word, like kind of like an updated version of Vladlendas from all of the feedback. And so maybe we'll try to pass that in the hour after the breakout room and start it, or maybe we'll go and think about it for another week and then try to do it next week.
Okay, that was my question. These proposals are being decided after the breakout rooms. There's like a separate meeting. Okay.
Yes. So the hour after the breakout rooms is when we're discussing topics like proposals, or if other people want to give announcements or promotions or different things like that. Basically, the agendas, Vladlendas, it's all about the hour after the breakout rooms, how we organize our time. And then the first hour during the breakout rooms is when we allocate respect and elect delegates.
Okay, thanks.
So the two questions are, how do you rank contributions? So that's kind of something Tadas was just talking about too. And the other thing is, how do you rank proposals in terms of what do you talk about in agenda? So how do you rank that? Because the Fractally was just, how do you rank contributions? Okay. What about what you're going to, if you vote for people, what are they going to vote on? So how do you do proposals?
Yeah, makes sense.
By the way, Dan and I are working on starting the Center for Governance, of which Eden+Fractal has an office there. Hopefully this weekend.
Yes.
Launching that at governance.games.
Yes, I'm very much looking forward to that. And thanks for all the great work you've been doing there, Eric. And also, yeah, we'll meet to discuss that more in the coming days. I know we've been messaging privately to arrange a time to work on that more. Also, a couple things I wanted to add too that I forgot to mention in my presentation. I think that maybe you didn't mention as well, Eric. Thanks for hosting the Alien Worlds Fractal meeting last week. That was really helpful. And that's where you're talking quite a bit about the Center for Governance as well. So I encourage everybody to join that. And then thanks for continuing to host the Saturday meetings with Fractally at the current time with people who are interested in fractal governance. I encourage people to join those as well. And then also I met with the Fractally team this week too. That was what you invited me to, Eric. And so it was me and Eric Binder and some members of the Fractally team. But they're planning on doing it again sometime soon. And if anybody's interested in joining that, then feel free to reach out to me or somebody on the Fractally team. They mentioned specifically you, Matthias, that it'd be cool if you want to join and share what you're doing with the ZEOS Fractal.
Yeah, I was curious. What were you guys talking about?
Well, we met for like an hour or so, and at first we talked about Mike Manfredi dancing, doing tango dancing, and playing guitar and playing piano and all sorts of fun things. And then after that, we talked about what Eric Binder is doing because he has Ronnie's Pizza, and he's working on. He wants to have some sort of basic software for his company. There's like 80 employees that he wants to start doing regular Fractally meetings for. So I talked about that for a while. And then we talked about what I was doing as well, and gave some updates about Eden+Fractal and the initiatives I'm working with Eden creators. And then heard a little bit of updates from the Fractally team as well about how they're still working on lots of exciting things, but didn't share too many details. But they're planning to do more of these more often. There's only like 2 people who weren't on the Fractally team. They were just me and Eric. So we wanted to have more people from the community join as well. So that was part of the discussion as well, saying that we'd reach out to more people as well in the future.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested. So if there's another meeting, I'd like to join just to hear the updates and all that, because I'm super excited about what they're doing. And yeah, would love to join.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I will reach out to you when I have more details for the next meeting. And if anybody else wants to join too, then that would be super cool. A couple other things I wanted to say real quick too. One, as I was giving my presentation to Tadas, I kind of forgot you were there because your camera wasn't on. But I just want to say thanks so much for everything you've done with Eden+Fractal and Eden+Fractal, because it's been incredibly helpful for the show that I'm launching, and I think it's really cool and exciting. So thank you to Tadas for everything. I'm really excited about what you're doing with Albedo as well. And then also Eric, you mentioned front end for the school. I'd be happy to help with that if we can. I've been thinking of repackaging the software we have, so maybe that can help. And thanks for mentioning Dams. And then Evgeny or Evgeny, thanks for continuing to do all the great work with EOS Support and reaching out to that community and helping to educate them about EOS as well.
Thanks, Dan. You're more than paying it back by constantly promoting Eden+Fractal and Albedo. So thanks.
You're very welcome, of course, and thank you. And I hope that you'll enjoy the show when it comes out as well. I hope that everybody will. Okay, so does anybody have any other thoughts or questions or comments before we move on, or shall we proceed on to consensus rankings?
I think we should proceed.
Sounds good.
Can someone share the link again? I always forget it. To the UI where we're gonna put in our votes.
Yes.
Yeah, that was it.
Is everybody ready to submit for level 6? Submit a consensus result for who you think did the most contributions lately for level 6? Yes. Eugenie asks in the chat, level 6 is the most valuable contribution. So yes, that's correct.
Yes, I'm ready.
Is everybody ready? Thumbs up if you're ready.
Yep.
3, 2, 1, and go. Okay, I have 4 votes. Das has 1, Eric has 1. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
And you're just Dan.
Yep, that's correct. Is everybody ready for level 5? 3, 2, 1, and go.
Looks like 4 votes for Tadas.
Is that 4? I see 1, 2. I think Tadas has. Oh yeah, actually you're right. Tadas has 4 votes. Matthias has 1, and Eric has 1 as well. Okay. Cool. Are we ready for level 4? I don't know. I don't know what to do for level 4.
always a problem. Don't worry about it there.
Right.
Sometimes it's kind of, okay, there's a few of them, okay, pick one.
Right. Okay. Is everybody ready for level 4? Okay. 3, 2, 1, and go. Okay, so Evgeny has 1, Matthias has 2, Eric has 3. And I was split between Eric and Matthias, and I really didn't know what to choose here. I also really appreciate what Udemy is doing too, but I think that between what Eric is doing with local organizations and then hosting the Fractally and Alien Worlds Fractal events is really valuable. So that's why I voted for Eric there. But then what Matthias is doing with the ZEOS Fractal and Unanimous Fractals and just ZEOS in general is also super helpful as well. So I don't know. What does everybody think?
Well, I would change my vote to Eric because we haven't started with all our stuff yet. So, and then we have 4 votes. I think that would be okay.
Okay.
Let me just change this real quick.
Okay, so and Eugenie said Eric with a smiley face too. So we can move on to level 3 then.
So,
Is everybody ready for level 3? 3, 2, 1, and go. Okay, Eugenie has 2 votes, and Matthias has 4.
okay, thanks.
Okay, level 2. This is also another very difficult decision here.
Not really. Evgeny been working harder than me when it comes to EOS and stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't want to color it too much, perhaps, but Jenny's been doing really helpful work, but I also really loved your recap this week too, Lenny. And you've been doing great work overall as well. So, okay, is everybody ready for level 2, or any thoughts first? Or okay, 3, 2, 1, and go.
One is missing, right?
Yes. Who didn't submit a vote?
Am I there?
No.
Lenny.
Okay. So it looks like there's a split 3 and 3.
It's nighttime here. It's dark, you know, and my lighting is wrong, so I miss my bloody buttons.
Oh, and also of note, so Eugenie voted for Lenny, and Lenny voted for Eugenie. Would you guys like to share why you voted for each other, or does anybody have any comments you'd like to share here?
No, but he's doing, I mean, my thinking is fair, but he's pulling hard and similar. Okay, it's not that much that is Eden+Fractally, but he's working for EOS much harder. I'm doing recaps, which has a purpose and whatever, but actually productive work, I regard it as much higher, so to say. So that's why I will vote for him. Plus, I don't vote for myself.
Okay, cool. Eugenie, would you like to share why you voted for Lenny?
Yes, I can't vote for myself and Lenny is very kind to me, and I can't not vote for him.
I can't wait for the official UI, right? Then we don't have this dilemma anymore, right? With the self-voting and all that. It's really interesting, the dynamic that results from that. I mean, in this particular case, it's really just about the lowest two ranks. It's gonna be way more interesting if it's about the higher ranks later. But yeah.
But I just wanted to say to Evgeny that you can. I think we do allow voting for yourself, and I voted for Evgeny because I think we should value EOS contributions as well, and he doesn't join that often, and I think we should support people who contribute to EOS and join this Eden+Fractal.
I agree. I'll also change my vote to Evgeny too. I've been convinced.
Okay, I changed my vote to you too, if you promise to come back next week.
So I will try hard. It's too late in Russia now, and I should put to sleep my children. So a little bit hard, and my wife will scream on me, I think.
You have to do your part, huh?
And I wanted to ask, we should contribute to Eden+Fractal, not to EOS at all. EOS Fractal is a more valuable contribution. Is that right?
I think
on this meeting in Eden+Fractal.
Do you want to go ahead first, Tadas?
A good question.
For Matthias?
Well, the way I see it, generally, we usually value direct contributions to Eden+Fractal more, but we value contributions to EOS and Eden as well, the way I see it. I think that was the idea initially. Do you have any other ideas?
It's
Maybe
hard to. I can. Sorry, Matthias. I just wanted to say that it's hard to think what I can do for Eden+Fractal. Maybe invite some people, but I can invite people from Russian-speaking EOS community, those who make something to EOS, not for Eden+Fractal. So I invite people who do something for EOS, not to EOS Fractal. But I think if they will take a part in these meetings, maybe then people will understand what Eden+Fractal doing and will contribute to Eden+Fractal too. And is it valuable to invite new people or not? Should we invite only developers or active people? I don't know how it in English. Or people who just can bring only help to reach consensus, maybe.
Yes. So there's several great questions there. Thank you, Evgeny. I am happy to answer. I know Matthias was going to say something as well before. So do you want to answer first, Matthias, then I'll go?
I just want to say real quick, I think it's a good question, and it should be it should be more, stronger clarified what it is. For instance, we could just put the mission statement on top of the UI or something, right? Just like clarify in one sentence what is the goal of the Eden+Fractal, right? And like, for instance, for the ZEOS Fractal, I was thinking about something like, maximizing the value of the ZEOS token. That will be the mission of the Fractal, right? And anything that contributes to that, and of course, this is super subjective. This is why these breakout rooms are for. But everything that contributes to that higher goal is a valuable contribution, right? And I totally agree that should be more clarified. There's some background noise from your end then, but yeah, you might go ahead and talk more about that.
Sounds
I don't know
good.
what that is. There's something in your background.
Yeah, I think there's a lawnmower outside, so maybe you hear that.
So-
You don't usually hear it, so sorry. Hopefully it's not too loud. Is it very distracting? Okay.
It's fine.
That would be
Yeah.
a good test for the Chris.ai.
Yeah, Krista.ai, right? I'll have to test that out. Okay, cool. So yeah, thanks Matthias and Tadas for sharing those thoughts, and Eugenie once again for the questions. So I'll attempt to briefly answer them as well too. We have 11 minutes. We should get to choosing a delegate pretty soon too. But yeah, so a couple of thoughts. I think you asked 3 questions. One was how much are contributions to EOS valued compared to contributions to Eden+Fractal, and I agree with what Tadas was saying. And it's up for each person in the community to decide to some extent, or actually entirely. James Mart wrote a great article from a while ago, a couple months ago, called "Mutually Benefiting from Misaligned Interests," where it's like each person has their own goals and missions and see how it is. But as long as it's aligned enough, then we can make progress together. I'm not explaining it super well, but that's a relevant article here. I think that, and I can share a link there. But yeah, basically, I think all contributions to EOS are definitely valued. In general, if somebody contributes directly to Eden+Fractal, then that's generally more valued by, I think, most people. And that's something that I value a lot when people help Eden+Fractal directly, but also definitely want to just respect and attract and show appreciation for people helping EOS in any way as well. So it's always a balance in each meeting, deciding how to balance them. But generally, I think that both should definitely be appreciated and respected, and perhaps Eden+Fractal contributions directly more so. But it can be open to interpretation, and I encourage everybody to share whatever kind of contributions to Eden or to EOS. Also, it definitely cool if you want to invite people too, just as long as they can speak good enough English and you think that they'll add value to the community, then that's a very big contribution. When we are aiming to grow the community and grow the group and respect people more and attract people who are really talented. So if you want to invite people that can help out, that would be great, Eugenie, or anybody else. And that would be much appreciated. If they're developers, that's great. Or if they have whatever other kinds of skills like communications or marketing or whatever, then all kinds of skills are appreciated. And yeah, whatever way you can help Eugenie. I mean, just helping EOS is a huge contribution itself, or if there's any way that you want to help Eden+Fractal or Eden more specifically, then that would be cool too. We have lots of comments in the Discord. I don't know if you're there in the Discord Telegram, but there's also lots of things we're working on, so feel free to contribute there. And then I think there was maybe one other thing that I forgot. About what Matthias was saying about making that more clear. So that's something we could potentially do with the Eden+Fractal Council to make a more clear mission statement. That's something we could work on in the future, but I'll leave it at that for now.
So for me, the big things we're talking about is how do you bring people into this organization and onboard them? Number 2 is how do you run the organization to make it so there's something to do correct, so we optimize what happens when people get here. And the third thing is, well, how do we make sure that what goes on here gets meaningful employed somewhere or multiple places? So, obvious, Dan is doing a lot for running the Fractal when people get here, doing some communication to bring people in. Lenny, of course, is making what we're doing more apparent by summarizing it for everyone. And then Tadas and Matthias are busy working that. Evgeny is busy trying to bring people in by adding the Russian so we improve the market. And a lot of what I'm doing is trying to take these tools and do it so we have use cases to say, see, it works. So
yeah, that's also another really valuable contributions too. Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, because I think that's what sparks things the most is say, look, this works. So we don't really have any this works yet. So I'm trying to get that as fast as we can because that's the biggest, probably the best recruiting tool.
Yeah. I just want to add on one quick thing, then we can get to delegates. But yeah, Eric, thanks for sharing that. And I would say it works. Like it's worked quite well in Eden+Fractal and Unanimous Fractal and Alien Worlds Fractal, but we definitely want to prove it out works more and have more communities. So that's also something that I value a lot. And I think that the community values in general, just helping people cooperate fractally as well. Like say Eric working with the schools to help them adopt the fractal process. That's not necessarily EOS related, but it might be. But that's also a very valuable contribution. as well too. And perhaps a mission statement could be helping people cooperate. That's something I'm really excited about. We can discuss that later. Does anybody have any other thoughts about this, or should we get into selecting delegates?
I think we should go on to select delegates. Not a lot of time left.
I agree. Okay.
So, like I said in the chat, currently only Matthias and Evgeny are not delegates out of people in this breakout room.
Evgeny might not be aware of what it's about. Do a quick recap, someone.
Yes.
Delegate.
Do you want to go to Tadas or should I?
Go on.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, Evgeny, about 8 weeks ago, we adopted the Eden+Fractal process. That's what I was talking about in the interview with Tadas. Tadas proposed this. And in addition to allocating respect from level 1 through 6, we also elect a delegate during each breakout room. And then the delegates from the past 4 weeks make decisions together and can help make community decisions. They form a council where 3 out of 4 councils from the past 4 weeks can make community decisions. That's how we change the time by electing delegates who change the time. So yeah, basically to elect a delegate, we come to consensus in the same way, and then a delegate will serve 4 weeks. And it's much appreciated and encouraged that delegates would be here for the 4 weeks, and also to be knowledgeable about proposals, and to also to be here and then be there for the hour afterwards, because that's when proposals get passed.
I think being delegate is a big work and responsibility, and I think it's people who is delegate should know English a lot, not like me.
Okay.
But when I was here last time, we don't choose delegate. Is it right? It's something new.
Yes, we just started doing this 8 weeks ago or 9 weeks ago now. So you were here just before then, I think. But yeah, anyway, we should be pretty quick about this because we only have less than 4 minutes. So who's interested? I'd be wondering if Matthias is interested in being a delegate, because he's not one yet, and he's expressed a lot of interest in the process. Matthias, are you interested, or is anybody else interested in being a delegate this week?
I'm interested in the process, but I'm not interested in becoming a delegate. I will stick around and just follow what's going on. I'm just not, into all this enough, that I could give qualified, or opinions or whatever. So I'm just here to follow. I would suggest Dan or Tadas to run for delegate.
Who expires first?
Thanks, Matthias. Thanks for the question, Eric. Yeah, so both me and Lenny were elected in Council 7, which was 2 weeks ago, and Tadas and you were elected last week. So me and Lenny, our terms would expire first.
I will nominate Dan because he got a more important function to play than myself. So I therefore nominate Dan. And I'll try to catch it next time if I wish.
I would support Dan as well as a delegate.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate that. Of course, you play a very important function as well, Lenny. But I'm happy to accept the votes and be delegate, and I'll do my best to be as helpful as a delegate as possible for everybody. And yeah, of course, as always, feel free to reach out with any questions or comments.
Correct?
What's that?
We're group 1, correct?
Yeah. By the way, I would be okay with Lenny being a delegate as well, but since he's supporting Dan, I'm okay with Dan.
Yeah, me too.
Likewise.
Who can say no to me? Of course, guys.
That's how Lenny becomes a delegate every week and becomes the king of Eden+Fractal.
I think Lenny should be delegate on Christmas because
Don't you start.
Okay, cool. Well, so we got that. Tadas wrote the ranks in the chat a little bit up so everybody can copy and paste those. I think those are correct, right? Dan, Tadas, Westrake. Okay, cool. Yeah, and if everybody can enter that in the tool that I shared the link to above, that would be much appreciated. And I'll also hit the closed breakout room in a moment. And yeah, thanks everybody so much for the great meeting. This was really fun and helpful. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the community room. Hope that you all had a great time during the breakout rooms. And see you, Andrew. I see Andrew waving and Matthias advised. So thanks for joining, Andrew. We had a great time. And
thank you, Andrew. Thank you.
Yeah.
I will respect what we say into our room. Room 2, group 2. We are group 2. Go group 2. Yeah, that's the point. Yeah.
Go group 2.
Group 2, delegate me, and the order of the people. I have to put the order of the people, or it's okay for you to not have into the chat the names.
You don't need to put it in the chat.
We have submit into the fractal into the React app, so I think it's because I am lazy. I am not the. Or maybe Jesse, can you put the? Oh, Jesse is no more here. No, Jesse is no more here. Or maybe Vlad, can you do a copy paste of the names? I am a little bit lazy. I am no more.
So yeah, while he's doing that, yeah, first off, you could just post it in the React app. You don't need to post in the chat as well.
Okay. So perfect. We have posted into the React app. And that was the yeah baby question. Thank you very much for the question. And I have suggested to Vlad that when we click yeah baby, if you are not logged into Anchor wallet, that's log into Anchor wallet first. Like this, you have not to push login. If you push directly the button yeah baby, that's cool. The login. I will pay again Vlad to do so. Vlad, do you hear me? You will be motivated. I will pay you not enough. That's okay.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. I also want to just welcome once again, Gore. Being your first time, I'd be happy to hear if you have any thoughts about the first time, or if you want to continue what you were saying earlier about the mind maps. And that was a very interesting discussion as well.
That was, yeah.
And then also, I don't know if we have enough delegates to pass a proposal, if we'd want to, but we can also discuss the next step for agendas and so forth.
I was committed into my room, into my group 2. I was elected as delegate, and I have an immediate proposal here that doesn't need too much brain power. That's not a complex one. That's an immediate proposal, very open binary, like the start of the breakout room. So my proposal is about the MSIG of the Eden+Fractal smart contract that we have today. we have agreed into our room. There was Andrew, there is Vlad, Jesse, and there was Berliango. We have agreeing on the fact that we need fresh new people into the MSIG to let's say a little bit renew this MSIG pool, because currently there is you, Doug, myself, Vlad, that are approving the proposal after those meetings, in order that the people like Eric are rewarded into EOS and others are rewarded by the MSIG rewards. But I want to see other people into this MSIG. So the question is, do you think yes or no is a good idea to have new people into the MSIG? And if the answer is yes, let's say after we can decide who has to be into the MSIG. But first question is, do you agree to have new, fresh people into the MSIG? Because, for example, we have Chuck McDonald into the MSIG, but he's doing anything into this MSIG. So let's say, and Tadas, I don't think you are into the MSIG, by the way. So that's my immediate proposal here, and that's all what I have to do as proposal. That's an immediate one. And I am representing my room, my group number 2. That is in favor to have new member into the MSIG, by the way.
Thanks, Patrick. I have some thoughts about that. I see Tadas raise his hand, and I think also Matthias, I saw him raise his hand too. So I suppose first Tadas can go, then Matthias, then I'll share some thoughts after that.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I think it's worth discussing. Maybe before trying to pass Vlalendas proposal. Vlalendas proposal might use some reading because after what Vlad has written, and I definitely support removing people who are not participating anymore, like for too long. Other than that, could someone post list of people who are currently in the MSIG? And I'm personally, I trust Dan and Patrick and
oh yeah, for sure. But
yeah, so
I was thinking about this proposal, about this immediate proposal that I am pushing now, because I was thinking if it is always myself that is approving the proposal and execute the proposal, or sometimes it's Vlad that is executing because he is the third one, or sometimes it's Doug because he is the third one, but it is always the three. That's not so, let's say, there is too much of, okay, forget my words. I want to say just we have to have new member into the MSIG, and then remove the other one. Let ask them if Chuck, maybe Chuck will say, no, don't remove me, I will come back. We will see. So Tadas, I will not say that we have to remove people from the MSIG like this. We have to maybe ask them if they want to be participating again. But we need other member for sure, like ZEOS here, Matthias, into the MSIG. If you are willing to, you're willing to for sure. Sorry, I am making the next step. The first question was, do you agree to change the MSIG pool with? And when I say change, add new people. Voilà. Very easy. Not too much brain power.
Is there any reason not to?
There is no reason not to, indeed.
Not to change the MSIG, you mean?
To add new people.
Oh, well.
Does new people mean you have to kick people out?
No,
not
necessarily. You could just add people. I mean, we would want to be careful. We wouldn't want to just add anybody, because it needs to be trusted people who will do a good job at it and so forth. But yeah, it just needs to be thoughtfully done if we do so. But you can add people without removing people.
I speak here to add new people. I don't even speak to remove people. I just say add people. Like for example, Matthias, I know he's very committed. He will do the job for sure. And
yeah, I have a question.
To the
Is there any Yeah. Is there any particular reason why the MSIG is not exactly like the councils of the last 3 out of 4 councils? Can't you just make an MSIG and then a 2/3 + 1? I mean, why is there an extra group for that?
Yeah, so let me answer here. So a bunch of thoughts just to directly answer your question, Matthias. First off, I think that's probably a good idea at some point in the future, but technically it's not possible or feasible at the moment, but it might be soon. So first off, when we created the MSIG back 6 months ago, we didn't have the councils. So we created it just out of necessity. And there was just the way that the MSIG started was when we first got it set up 6 months ago, it was the people who were at the first meeting and who were ranked 4, 5, and 6 during the first meeting. So there was myself, Chuck, Felix, James Mart, Patrick, and Vlad. And lately, Chuck hasn't been here in like 20 weeks. Felix hasn't been here in like 4 or 5 weeks. James Mart hasn't been here in like 10 weeks or 15 weeks or something like that. So there's only 3 people who are actively participating right now. And that's why we created it as it was. Currently, it's working okay. I don't think it's a huge priority to change it. We're us resigning it, but it's definitely something we want to improve at some point in the future. If we're able to get it where it's the councils, then I think that would make the most sense and make the most alignment. And we might be able to do that by using the software from the Eden elections that the Evgeny team is building, because that has an automated setup where it changes automatically depending on who is the delegate. So there might be some possibility to use that software, combine it, run 4 instances of it for the delegates and add a little bit of smart contract to make that work. And that might be the best way to run in the long term. But that, I don't know if that's technically easy right now. I think that would require some development. So
it's very easy to add a new member into. It's very easy.
It's easy to add new members to MSIG, but Matthias was specifically
I just
asking,
speak of that.
Yeah,
don't make other. I would say other speculation. I just speak
No,
about.
he was just replying to my question, Patrick.
Okay. I understand. Here, I am just speaking to add new member, yes or no. So I am in favor myself, and I have put it here. I want to see Tadas in, and because he is at the base of all that, a lot of. So that makes sense. He is also into the MC. At least he will approve very fast. Myself, I am sometimes no time, and that's need the threshold of 3 of 8 to have the MC. So, and Matthias, if you want to be also in, that's okay. Lenny, the same. So
yeah, I was just asking a question.
Lenny want never to be in anything. Bon, that's okay. He want just to make comments and do any and don't imply on anything. So let's only the people that want to be implied into the MSIG to be added. If you are added into the MSIG, you have to approve them, the MSIG. So I'm sure that Tadas will do, and I'm sure that Matthias will do for sure. A part of Dogman and myself and Vlad, because that's always the 3 that we are doing. And Felix is no more joining now. When he was accepting the MSIG, but now he's no more. So.
Yeah, so thanks, Patrick, for sharing your thoughts. Let me just bring it back to just see if I answered Matthias's question properly. Does that make sense about why it's not currently the delegates and how that might be possible in the future? But for now, we can just say if we want to add delegates, we can just add manually.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Or add MSIG signatories rather, not delegates.
Members into the MC. That's the question. I put into the chat the question. That's the question. Yes.
And then, yeah, I'll also share some extra thoughts. So one, I do think that it's sufficient enough. Like, I don't know if it's a priority. It might be better to focus our time right now on agendas and Vladlendas and stuff like that first, and then discuss this later. Although if people think it's a high
that's
priority,
an immediate that's an immediate proposal here into the main room. The complex proposal like Vlalendas, agendas, we dive into the brainstorming session. Here, that's what I introduce here. That's this. I am committed with my room. We were in favor of that, so I push here the question. That's an open binary question, by the way. That could be just yes or no.
And yeah, so for me, I guess it's yes or no. I don't have a strong opinion either way at this point, but the first thing I'd want to ask is who's interested in doing it, because I wouldn't want to add, somebody random who doesn't join meetings, obviously, but if somebody like Tadas who's been here for a long time wants to join, then
Jesse
cool.
was interested into doing. Jesse, Andrew, myself, Vlad, into our breakout room. We were all interested to do this. And we were stating that when we go into the main room, let's go with that. So I am now committed and I do that, but I am not just committed for that. I will do other things for this Eden+Fractal by giving some funds, for example, again. But that's the value part, monetary sense. But here is just a little easy question. And immediate proposal, by the way.
Thank you, Patrick. By the way, Vlad just shared a link in Google Docs to Vlalendas' proposal for post-breakout meeting structure too. So I'd be interested to hear what do people think is priority to discuss, the MSIG now, or should we discuss the Vlalendas proposal?
Just yes,
first?
say yes, vote for yes or no. Yes, now. If there is a majority of...
But it's conditional depending on who wants to join, Patrick. Like, well, first off, Tadas raise his hand first. So
that's the next question then. Who want to join? But first, are you agreeing on the idea that we have to add new member into the MSIG? That could be just yes or no. So
go ahead, Tadas.
Go on. Okay, just wanted to say I agree with Patrick. It's a simple enough question. We can simply
thank you.
Quickly vote on this and
by the way, the Eden+Fractal brainstorming session number 2, all what we stated into this Eden+Fractal brainstorming session number 2, Tadas was coming into the Discord exactly what the problem that we have addressed on Vladlendas the last week and Kajendas. That's beautiful, by the way, the brainstorming session. And we stated that we have a immediate and complex proposal. Now, who decide what is immediate and complex? If you are not seeing that adding new member into the MSIG is not an immediate proposal, I don't know what to say to you here. That's a very immediate proposal. You can just say yes or no, and then let's move on later on to decide who has to be added into the MSIG, but just first say if you are agreeing with that or no. And there is no risk to add new people into the MSIG, Eric, by the way. That's just an MSIG for the rewards of the funds. If you want to wait until the next episode to be rewarded, myself, I will not wait until the next episode to be rewarded. Today, after this episode, normally we have to be rewarded. So let's maximize if there are other members into the MSIG. That's the argument. If you want to be rewarded fast, let's add new member into the MSIG.
Well, to be fair, there is a bit of a risk. We have to trust people who we add because in the future.
Maybe not the time to approve this proposal when it comes, because I have other things to do. And there is a threshold of 3 of 8. So if I am missing to approve the proposal, and it's my fault because I am busy with my consulting on other things, Matthias could approve or Tadas could approve, could be the third one and not wait on me. That's a good argument.
And how many to change?
Threshold is 3 of 8.
Yeah, and to change the MSIG, it's also 3 of 8, right?
I am in favor to change the MSIG.
So some clarity here. There's the active permission and the owner permission. So the active permission is 3 of 7, and the owner permission is 5 of 7. There's also a 48-hour delay, which I'm not sure if it works. I tried programming it with a 40-hour delay, but we've never tested it. So technically, I think the way it works is that you could just have 2 people signing plus a 48-hour delay, and then you could execute the transaction for the active permission, which can do everything but change the account. And then the owner permission requires 5 of 7, which is 4 out of 6 people plus 48 hours or 5 out of 6 people. So what we're changing here, I don't know if we're discussing just the active or the active and the owner permission. I'm happy to share a link or go into more detail about that if that's helpful.
That's not the question now. The question is just, do you want to see new member into the MSIG, yes or no? And then we can discuss the detail. But first, that like for the breakout room, the question was, do you want to change the start of the breakout room? The question was yes. And then we have choose for 16 UTC, by the way, because there was a majority, super majority. So now the question is just an open binary. Do you want to see new member into the MSIG?
I would support a different proposal, very similar. Do you want to update the MSIG? I'm not. It might be more secure to remove some members, for example. Although I don't think it's a huge problem, but I would support. Do you think we need to update the MSIG? I would support that.
So that's the question. Do you think to update the MSIG? Do you think to want to update the MSIG?
Yeah, and by the way, if there are no members who want to be part of the MSIG, then it's not a problem. It's just something to clarify what we want to do.
That was very clear into our breakout room. Jesse, Vlad, Andrew, everyone, we were agreeing that we have to do that. But
Cool. Yeah.
into our breakout room, by the way, we were five. We were five, yeah. Okay.
I'll just also briefly respond too. So I'm in favor of updating the MSIG. I think it's a good idea, although it depends on who it is, obviously, and I don't think it's something that needs to be done now. But generally, I'm in favor. Yeah, and then I'm happy to further discussion about it.
Okay, so I do a countdown, and you vote yes or no. Okay, into the chat here. That's also okay. So I say 3, 2, 1, 0, and we put yes or no. So okay, so 3, 2, 1, 0. And Lenny, I say yes. Thank you very much, Lenny. Because that's an open binary, that's easy. And then we will see the complexity later on. But at least we do something. I am happy. I continue. I stay here. Otherwise, I would leave.
Well, that's kind of like, I don't know if that's an official proposal, but that's kind of like we passed our third proposal in a way. So, woohoo,
no,
nice.
But that's if simple like that. We are not able to say yes or no. We have something into our brain. Sorry. So that's nice. Thank you very much. That was an immediate one, and we will discuss later on. But we agree today that's recorded. Yes, for this one, we want to update the MC. That's the baby moment.
Nice. And we got a smiley face
My
#3
first,
from Marco. Thanks for joining, by the way, Marco.
My first immediate proposal, by the way. I will do only immediate. That's very easy. Okay, let's move on Vlalendas and Kajendas. I am totally in favor of all what said Tadas. That's my first remark. I am agreeing with all what he has written into the Discord.
Sounds good. Tadas has his hand raised. Also, Vlad, I don't know if you want to introduce this writing or if you want to share the screen at some point too. That might be helpful. But I see Tadas has his hands raised first.
Yeah, I don't see a vote from Dan, and Council 6 has Pascal and Vlad. So it's actually yeah, but it's still passed because
Pascal.
Other 3
I
councils.
voted yes, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, so
NC Adventure is Pascal. Yeah. It's Pascal, yeah.
I didn't vote because Pascal is not here.
Voilà, I am Patrick, by the way. I'm not Pascal.
Yeah, so but still 3 out of 4 councils voted yes, so this is technically approved.
And by the way, Bishop was elected last week as a delegate. He's not here today. Very interesting. So when you come a delegate, you have to do what you say.
Yeah.
If you say no, it's better to say no. Like this, you are also reliable. But if you say yes, you have to do the thing. So I am totally agreeing with Tadas into the Discord when he say the people that want to do something, they have to be here. Otherwise, you are agreeing on the absent people that are not here. So it's better that the people are here when they want to discuss about proposals.
Yeah. And I'll also add on to that by just encouraging everybody when you're voting for delegates, ask them if they'll plan to attend. I mean, Charles is awesome and he's super smart, but that's just a good question to ask everybody to see if they'll be able to attend for future meetings. That's something that's very helpful when delegates are there.
Yeah. Maybe he's not able to join today because he have an impeachment. As every of us, we have always an impeachment. I am totally agreeing. Yeah? So let's say when we want to discuss about complex proposal, we cannot be stuck at because the absent people are not here. So I am in favor to change the priority on consortium. Change the priority. But change the priority doesn't mean to change the topic. Change the priority is just meaning to iterate, to continue to iterate. Voilà. See the episode that we have recorded on the last week. That was a nice one. by the way. A lot of engagement on Twitter. Right, Dan? That was a nice one.
Yes, absolutely. If anybody hasn't checked that out yet, check out the brainstorming session. And then I think that's also a good segue into Vlad just wrote he can quickly run through the Vlalendas. So Vlad, would you like to run through it? And perhaps would you like to, I don't know, share the screen or I'll share the link again or yeah, I'll share the link again in the chat.
I have put the link to the video in the chat if you want to see. Very professional, very well made, very top video, very educative. You understand what is Vlalendas and Cagendas in a couple of chapters. It's all time-stamped. And you have Vlad, Tadas, and Dan, Lenny, myself doing this Fractal brainstorming session on last week. So you are welcome on the next one, by the way. And yeah.
Yes, thank you, Patrick. And the next one's coming up in 6 days, December 13th at 16 UTC.
The 13th, that will be the last one of this year because I was doing a POC, a proof of concept. But it seems to be that the proof of concept is very successful. We will continue on next year. I can already tell you. So we will be there.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Vlad, would you like to walk us through?
Yep. So Vlalendas, it's a proposal how we could structure the time right now, essentially, after the breakout rooms. So first of all, it's we need to define what is the topic. The topic is either a proposal, like Patrick made right now, or it could be any theme that you would like to discuss. And there's really no limitations to what the theme could be. So, but you still have to, you have to describe what the theme is, and a place where you can do it is consortium. Again, we don't have to use it, but for starters, we can try it because it has this functionality that enables to vote with Eden tokens. So it should quite well represent what is important for us, for the people who have participated the most. So during the week, anybody can create a topic on consortium, and during the week, anybody can vote on this topic, on any topics that are submitted. And at the end of the week, so initially, Dan had that one day before our meeting, the votes are counted, but it's actually difficult to measure that. So I suggest just when the meeting starts, we look what is their ranking, so which topics are at the top, and whatever topic is first, whoever proposed it can present it, or you can delegate for it. You can delegate it to someone, and there is a limitation that only 5 minutes is given to you to present the topic. Here, actually, I had another thought. What happens if that person is absent? Should we skip that topic, or yeah, that's actually an unanswered question. But I think we can just then skip it if the proposer is not there. We just move to the next most with the most votes. So now there is 4 ways how we move to the next topic. I think the most common one will be just after we approve or reject a proposal, just like we did right now with Patrick's proposal. We approved it and immediately we could move to the next one. Then if it's a topic, if it's just a theme for discussion, then we discuss it until we want to. And once there is essentially nobody who wants to discuss it, that's the default option, we move to the next topic. The third option is now if there is some kind of emergency, and in that case, the council members can again, yeah, here it should be a little more specified. So what is the new set of topics? I think it should be that, let's maybe add that prior to the meeting, if somebody has an emergency, he can submit the topic to the moderator. And in that case, if there is an emergency, then the council members can have a vote, again, using the Eden+Fractal process, same thing as we did right now, 3 out of 4, to put the emergency topic in priority. So that's the third option. And the fourth is deciding to move on to next topic by using modified. So I'm thinking whether it's similar to having no objections. Well, yeah, so the councillors at any time can decide whether they would like to switch the topic. Yes, that's in case there is disagreement. So if somebody wants to continue and somebody doesn't, then this fourth point can be triggered. So in that case, there is a vote using the Eden+Fractal process, but it's a little bit modified, that it's not counting the absent council members, which means it's easier to pass this proposal or to move to the next topic. Yeah, so there are 4 ways how to move to the next topic. This process lasts for 1 hour, starting after the breakout rooms finished. We can discuss as many topics as the time permits. So if we are quick, I think we can fit up to 4 or 5 topics. And at the end of the meeting, all the topics are deleted from consortium, and it starts all over again. So during the week, anybody can just create new topic, and the voting happens again. So, and that's repeated every week. Yeah, so that's the summary.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Vlad, for putting this together. I encourage everybody want to share your thoughts here, and also make any comments on the Google Doc as well. You can comment there. I saw Tadas had his hands up earlier, and Eric has hands up now too. So if you guys want to share, I also have some thoughts I can share too. But if you guys want to go first, that'd be cool.
I guess a question I have is, what if people submit two proposals that are very similar, such as Patrick's proposal that we add people, and the counter proposal that we optimize the board? Just a thought. Sometimes people have different ways of looking at the same, and they could have conflicting or complementary proposals that aren't linked.
So you mean if 2 proposals or 2 topics are really similar?
Yeah. How do you deconflict proposals that are interacting, or Dan may have a proposal, and my proposal depends on whether Dan's proposal are passed, but mine gets more votes, so I'm up there. Or we have proposals which are basically very similar. So those are the two cases I see, is some proposals may need other proposals ahead of it, or proposals may be similar. Just, how do you deconflict the proposals? I was trying to anticipate problems, just brainstorming here.
I think it's a little bit up to the voters to see that they shouldn't like vote to the top something that cannot be accepted. So that's, yeah.
I'm not saying put a pause on it. The problems will come up as we do it. So I'm not really worried. I'm just saying it's just worth a thought or two to think that, oh yeah, this could happen when we do it.
Until now, that works very well. We have two brainstorming sessions, and that was just amazing. And we have find during the brainstorming session the problems. And then we see Tadas writing into the Discord this week with Vlad some concerns. And that was raising during the brainstorming session. That's the goal of the brainstorming session. It's not to go there and say, wow, all is fantastic, guys. We have nothing to improve. Goodbye, and until the next week. No, we speak there, and that was very tough
Just
discussion.
remember,
Tough
just
discussion.
remember,
I can tell you, I was sometimes a little bit with Dan, a little bit not fighting, but in a good sense. That was nice. We have the right to say no when we are not agreeing on something. We were speaking like Jordan Peterson stating you have to speak the truth, and we have speak the truth. That was nice. So
just remember, always in the back of my mind is the question: how do we scale this? And that's the only reason
very well.
I'm talking about this. It's not going to be
better than block one.
Whatever you scale, having scaled lots of things, whatever you scale, there are challenges. If you think about those ahead of time, it helps. That's all I'm saying.
A lot of reward on the retweet and comments on Twitter, by the way, thanks to Jesse Jaffe and the bees. And some people are stating that the bees are kinda of arranged tweets and comments. Absolutely not. So the people that are stating that, they are not just understanding what is doing Jesse and
yeah.
Yeah.
I agree, Patrick. Let's try to stay on the topic of.
I am on the topic.
Okay.
I am totally on the topic. The question of Eric was how we scale. So we are already doing all to be able to scale. We have all on the table to be able to scale. So
okay. Cool. Thanks, Patrick. Lenny's had his hands up for a while, and then I have some thoughts. Vlad has some thoughts. Would you like to go next, Lenny?
Yeah, I only want to ask Eric asked, what if there is a proposal on top of a proposal that need to come first? Item 3.2, by council let's see, no, 3.3, sorry. By councils overriding the topics set by consortium using Eden+Fractal. That means even if there is one ranked higher than the one that needs to come first, the council can actually just say, hey guys, we need to do it this way. So that particular question is resolved that way. I have more to ask and talk about later on, but I'll leave it for others for now.
Great. Thanks, Lenny. Yeah, I was also going to add on to that. So, and Vlad also mentioned that the voters can do that in advance as well to determine if a certain topic should be first. So in addition to council, voters can do that in advance. And then also the proposer can do that in advance too. Like the proposer could potentially make a proposal for a topic saying, during the first 2 minutes of my presentation, I want to talk about this topic briefly. And then that's a prerequisite or something like that for the next 3 minutes where I'll discuss this too. So the proposer, the voters, and the council can all help resolve situations like that. Thank you very much, Eric, for bringing that up. And then also, just as a general reminder too, I think that as Eric was jovially saying, like, this is an iterative process, so we'll probably run into some situations where it's weird or awkward, but through the process we'll learn and we can iterate and evolve it as well. I see Vlad has his hands up, so I'm curious what you have to share. But also another thing I wanted to ask you, Vlad, in general too, is I know before the meeting you were just starting to put this together, and you said you were going to try to get this ready. So I'm just wondering, in general, do you think that this is ready right now. Like I think it's probably best if we discuss it over the weekend, maybe more at the brainstorming session, unless you guys want to try to pass it this week and try it next week, then I'm open to that as well. But I'm just wondering, Vlad, do you feel like it's ready right now, or do you feel like it needs more work?
Like from the first thought, I don't know what I would add else. Yeah, I think it's good enough.
Yeah, I think it's good enough to try. Just also it's not carved in stone.
Yeah, we have the Eden+Fractal process, by the way, that works very well currently. And there is no stress to vote about Vlalendas, the suggestion, because we were brainstorming the last week, addressing problems. And now we will see on the 13th, when we come into the Fractal brainstorming session, opening the mind map with the new notes of Vlad, Tadas, and yourself, Dancing Joy. I will show you, will send something. So we will iterate and we will see if we are ready to put that into the game, because it's all about gamification. So let's see if we can go into the game with the Vladlendas. Personally, I prefer to continue with the Eden+Fractal how it is currently, and wait a little bit on the next brainstorming and feedback of Lenny and etc. Because, as you said, Lenny, we need some feedback before to go onto the things. So I am agreeing. I don't say that Vladlendas is bad. I say just that's very young and that needs some still question that you have put into the pool, Vlad and Tadas. And we need other guys also, like Matthias, maybe doing also some doubt. Eric also. So.
Yeah, great thoughts. Thank you, Patrick.
Sorry, I don't want to temporize and say that we are not to iterate with Vlalendas. Don't take wrong. I just want to say, before to go on something, we have to have all in mind what we do. Otherwise, we just say, yes, move on, without to know sometimes what we are doing. So.
Cool. Yeah, I agree. And it's good to think about this. Definitely. It's good to think about it thoroughly. So during next week's brainstorming session, it might be a great way to more thoroughly review this. But we have lots of hands raised too. Matthias said he has a million thoughts, but he won't share them here now. Smiley face. And Vlad said, please share. So please feel free to share.
Excellent.
I just thought of another question for Vlad too that I'm very curious about related to this. But Lenny, Tadas have their hands up first, and then Eric. So we'll go Lenny, Tadas, then me, then Eric, if that's good with everybody.
Okay, actually, I have two questions straightforward. I'm not going to get into discussion. One is about the 5 minutes, because according to this way it's written, there's only a 5-minute chance to talk about one proposal. It doesn't allow for extension the way I read it. I think it was so in the originals. And also, when you delete from consortium, does it mean you're archiving or you're completely wiping it out? Those two, if Vlad can answer those two, I'm happy.
Yeah, so idea behind 5 minutes was that if you have some kind of proposal, you should prepare for it and you have to be concise. And if 5 minutes is too little, again, we can have a proposal that modifies this thing. We can change it to 10. In regards to, what was the second question?
Deletion every week. Is it archiving or wiping it clean?
Completely deleting. Well, we had this history solution, but something happened to it.
Not completely deleted.
Yeah, that's not nice.
We have the mind map like a collective memory.
Okay. we can save it manually somewhere.
Yeah,
but avoid the Rashomon effect, by the way.
It's still action. It's still, so to say, community actions and similarly, and that should be kept on record one way or the other. That's the only concern. And also on the 5-minute one, this is a proposal, of course. It can be changed and amended and similar, but here it says 5 minutes, and legally that's 5 minutes. It's not that something. it was, why don't you keep it in mind, see if you amend it with a few words or something, but I'll leave it at that only for now.
Sorry, I just want to make a little comment on what Lenny said. You agree it's deleted on the chain? How it is even possible to delete on chain?
It's not deleted from the chain. It's still
Voilà.
always visible. All the text and votes are visible on chain, but it's just difficult to see because it would be in lots of different transactions, the votes.
Voilà.
So it wouldn't be on the consortium interface, I think is what Vlad was saying.
Okay, super.
No, it's deleted the row that contains all the information about the poll. It's deleted. So
on the chain.
It's deleted from the chain. So
on the chain, yeah.
it's deleted from the current state of the chain. If you wanted to use a history
Yes,
solution and look back on the previous chain state, then you could find it, but it's deleted from the current chain.
So Vlad,
Okay.
you are using the context transaction that give the possibility to delete on chain.
What do you mean?
Like the GDPR, indeed, you are deleting on chain the information.
Yes.
You are able to delete on chain. Okay. Well, nice. Okay. And then we put the new one, the new poll to replace the other one that contain the iteration, indeed, that contain the fresh substance, I would say.
It can be iteration or it can be just new polls, new topics.
A new one. That we address on the episode, the last one in the brainstorming session. Do we have to change totally the topic or 360-degree, or just do we iterate? Sometimes we iterate, sometimes we change totally the topic because maybe we have too much stuck in here. Okay. Eric has his hand raised, and Tadas, and you, Doug, I don't know.
Yep. Tadas raised his hand first.
Yeah, just to confirm, the way I understand it is that you can only delete polls from the state, but you will, in the transaction history, you would still see it.
Transaction history.
If I went to blocks, I would still see that someone made a transaction that created a poll, and then someone made a transaction that deleted. Yeah, so technically that could be used to see the history. And yeah, some other thoughts I made one suggestion today in the Discord to require a prefix for all of these topic proposals, something like I posted in the chat, like topic TP 25, topic proposal 25, and after that you name your proposal.
Yeah, good idea.
So what this achieves, it would make it easier to filter the topic proposals, and it would also specify that this is proposal specifically for this meeting, and because of that we can get rid of point 6. And I would suggest getting not including point 6 because well, we don't want to add rules that we aren't sure will always be followed. So if someone is too busy this week, even though we are in the past we always deleted proposals, we don't want to make it so that we're not currently deleting proposals, even though the rules say that we have to. So I think yeah, so we might still delete proposals, but just to save space, not because the rules require it. Yes. So that's one suggestion.
And I can put TPXX, so or XXX if you have 100 of proposal or 900 proposal, but okay, on the branch of the mind maps. Like this, there is a thesaurus into the mind map. We can search into the mind map. There is a function to search, and we can search into the branch a topic with the number. That would be nice. Good idea. Very good idea. I love it.
Yeah, and now I thought of it, Ethereum, for example, developers or Bitcoin developers, we have those kind of shortcuts.
Yeah.
Ethereum proposal something, and it's all
There is a name for that. on Ethereum for that, or on Bitcoin. There is a name, proposal, something, beef. I don't remember.
It's like
I think,
EIP and so forth.
Yeah.
EIP,
Yeah.
EIP Bitcoin Improvement Proposal.
Oui, voilà, exactly.
Yeah.
So we could use the same logic, and that would be nice. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
And,
Good point. Put that
although-
into your note, Tadas. All your thoughts put into your note. Send a link to the mind map like this. We had that into the mind map. We have the branch for that. And Vlad, the same. Send to the mind map dog also. Everyone
Yes,
here
Patrick, I agree.
has thought. The reflex should be you send the link. Like this, when we open the mind map, is not just a yeah baby mind map to say, oh, nice mind map. No, it's to really use that as a tool, as a collective memory tool, a game tool. Open tree. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes, I agree, Patrick.
I will.
Okay, go ahead, Tadas.
I will summarize the points I'm currently making into and send it to the mind map. And a few other thoughts. I think point 3.2 has to be more specified. What does it mean? Council members having no objections. For example, if all but one council members have no objections, does it mean that, or do none of the council members have to have no objections, or how does it work? Yeah, so that's one question. And also, I think that it might make sense to start Vladlendas, for example, 5 minutes after breakout rooms. It relates to something that Dan thought about in a previous meeting, to have time to coordinate and stuff. And Vlad was against it, I remember, but I think if we limit it strictly to say 5 minutes, then I think maybe it won't be a problem. Yeah, so these are some thoughts. Like I said, I will write them down and summarize and post the mind.
That
Excellent.
incentivize the people to go faster.
Yes. Yeah, so great points. I think the 5-minute beginning is a great idea. It could even be potentially 10 minutes, but 5 minutes is probably best. And yeah, I'll just remind too, let's try to stick with the hand raising. So if you want to share something that's not a quick thought, then please raise your hand and then wait until it's the appropriate turn. I'll also add to just one thing back to what Lenny was saying. I just want to make it clear, as far as I understand, this is still the way it works, and I'm pretty sure it's there. It just might not be explicit, but there's 5 minutes for the presentation, but the Eden+Fractal Council can decide to have one discussion for as long as needed. So it's a short presentation, but there's still time to discuss it. It can take the whole full hour if needed. Regarding the full hour, it might be helpful to specify that ending at 17 UTC, just because sometimes it ends at 1658 UTC or 1657. It might be simpler just to say 17 UTC, and sometimes it's an hour and 5 minutes. I don't think it's a big deal, but might just be something to consider. And then I also had the same question about Lenny as far as archiving too. So I didn't realize, thank you, Patrick, for asking that question about it deleting from the state. I didn't realize that's how it worked, but I think posterity is really important and valuable. So for example, I've been curating some of the prior proposals on the Eden Creator site, as I've shared with you guys, and I've also deleted some of the proposals. So I made a bunch of proposals like in the beginning when I was saying let's change the time or do different things like that. And at some point a couple weeks ago, I went in and deleted those because I was like, well, we passed these already, so we don't need them anymore. But then it totally broke the links from the old articles, and it would be helpful for both everyone in the community and just the story in general for everybody who wants to learn, if those could somehow still be up. So I'd be curious to hear from Vlad if it's possible to figure out some way where we can still have those up on an archive page. If they're not, I don't know. Tadas mentioned saving resources, saving space, so maybe there are cost considerations to why those are deleted from the blockchain. But if it's possible to keep them on the blockchain and just move them to an archive page on consortium, then that would be really cool. So I'd be curious, what is the cost of that? Like if that would be difficult to do technically, if that would require much work or much funding. I'd be happy to help fund that if it's feasible. So yeah, that's something curious to hear from Vlad, because if we're able to make it so that we can see all the proposals, then I think that would be very helpful. And with that, I will pass it on to Eric, unless Vlad wants to respond to that first.
Eric was first.
I just have a very simple suggestion. I always like titles to say not what it is, but what it does. So I would just change the title proposal for post to optimize post for optimizing post breakout room meeting agenda. That's all.
I'm sorry, Eric. I didn't totally hear that. Could you just please just
Sure.
explain it again?
Proposal for optimizing post breakout room meeting agenda. So I would just add the word optimizing and change from structure to agenda. You could leave structure.
You're saying in the first sentence on the document that you think it should be worded differently?
Yeah,
So,
it just says what it is. It's a proposal, but what is it trying to do? I would just say it's trying to optimize that. It's a minor detail. I would say proposal for optimizing post breakout room meeting. That's all.
Did you say use the word agenda rather than structure?
Yeah, that's a good point.
But that's fine.
Okay.
And that we have already addressed with Lenny in the Eden+Fractal brainstorming session. We said before the breakout room, before the post the breakout room, we should know already what we will have on the menu, a kind of agenda, a kind of what we will discuss. If you want also to incentivize people to join, they have to know what we will discuss. Otherwise,
yes,
that's a feature of scale. That's a good feature for the scale. That's in favor of the scale. If you don't say to the people what will be the goal of this meeting today, for example, they don't know what they want to join. They don't know why they would waste their time, maybe, into their journey to join. So if there is a post breakout room and agenda, structured agenda with topics, bullets point, that would be nice.
That's a good point. It makes it more welcoming for people to join. By the way, Vlad, can you please enable commenting
Let's
on
make
here?
not more work for the people to join. That's a facility for the people to help them to join. Because they know in advance, like Lenny stated a lot of time, he knows in advance what will be discussed because no one has the time to read the entire article of Vladlendas, of Kajendas on your website and all this stuff. And about the archive, by the way, Mindweb is the archive. It's in a former military bunker, the website hosted. Mindweb.io is in a former military bunker in the Switzerland, in the Swiss Alps. Impossible to hack. It's an archive, by the way. So all can be into an archive. Don't worry for that. The collective memory is insured. But I am totally in favor with Eric, what he's stating, and that's rejoin what Lenny was already stating a couple of weeks already. Not only for the first time, for I think already 5 times, 6 times, that we need to have some agenda, not say agendas, but an agenda. Like every meeting, we have always a little bit an agenda before to go in a meeting. Like the Eden delegate, when they are going into a meeting, they know before why they will do into the meeting, what will be the subject, the main subject. Okay, that's my honest thought here.
Good points. Thanks, Patrick. Vlad?
Yeah. First, to Tadas's reply to Tadas. So if there's a bit of a problem if we choose not to delete, because in consortium's UI, you can filter by the most, so topics that have the most votes. And if we keep everything, eventually it will become quite difficult to find the most recent topics. So most likely, yeah, the older topics will appear on top, and then it's going to be messy to search. That's in regards to deletion. Then to the point 3.2, by that, yeah, it could be specified a bit. by council members having no objections, I mean simply that essentially nobody wants to speak about that anymore. So yeah, so the moderator could ask, yeah.
So basically, no council member raises his hand that I object.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think it should be
Sorry,
specified if
I
none
haven't
of the
understood.
council members object. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I have not understood what you want to say here. Can you rephrase that in a, like if I was 5 years old, please?
You mean the 3.2?
Just what you stated now between you both, and agreeing the both. I am happy for you, but myself, I have not understood anything. Sorry. Can you redo that?
Yeah,
Redo
it
that.
should be. I will think how to write it more clearly.
Yeah, like always. Spoken is always easy. Writing, it's another thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just saying that 3.2 needs to be more clearly specified, but now I think that if we just say by none of the, if none of the council members object, then we can move on to the next topic. Use the word none, and that makes it clear.
Mm-hmm.
And what you do with the absent? Do you count the penalty? What you are suggesting, Tadas, if I was not wrong with what you was writing into the Discord, you were stating that the absent should not have to be counted.
Yeah, but that's for a different point. Here it doesn't matter because
but it's matter because when you want to reset you speak now about to reset the votes on consortium.
No, I'm talking right now about 3.2 specifically point.
And what is 3.2? If you can say that in English.
Yeah, so it was by council members having no objections to move on to the next topic. I suggest it should be by none
the question
of
here
the
is
council members having objections.
No, but the question here is how do you decide? What is the criteria to decide to move to the next topic? What is the criteria about the quorum? If there is not enough or lower quorum, do you agree to go to the next topic if there is a lower quorum?
No, if there is at least, this point is now saying that if there is at least one objection, we have to we then have to either override the order using Eden+Fractal process, or we have to use the council process, which does not count the quorum. So basically 3.4.
Okay. All clear. Crystal clear. My crystal balls are clear. Okay, let's go to next guy here. Sorry.
Vlad, I see you still have your hand raised. Is there more you want to say here?
Yeah, I wanted to reply to you, but I forgot what you said.
That's
why we have the collective memory.
Okay, cool. I can remind you. So I was actually going to bring that up again too. So, well, there's two things actually, but one, the thing that I asked you before, I think that you're trying to remember is if it would be feasible to have it where it saves the proposals in some way, and how technically difficult it would be. I see you wrote at the bottom of the page in red another table that would save the past proposals, and Lenny also wrote, Vlad, my memory from bigger time, polls used to expire and then archived in consortium, not so anymore, ? Once archived, you or had archive links, you could find old proposals. So it's basically about
great.
that. Would that be feasible to do so we could save the proposals and still be able to view them in the future?
Yeah. We were using the diffuse history API. That's something broke, so it's not working right now. But we can look into it again. But what
and you can link the consortium to the mind map, and you have the old proposals.
Yeah. And also what we could do is once the proposal is passed, we can have another table that would just save everything that we have accepted. That would be pretty nice.
By the way, the mind map will be timestamped on the blockchain, on the EOS mainnet. So if in the mind map you have the whole history of the collective memory with all the iteration of our brain, you have on chain the collective memory of the mind map. That would be nice.
Yes, that would be very nice. Although, once again, Patrick, I'll ask that you please raise your hand. I saw Patrick, I saw Lenny wrote
Yeah,
Patrick.
I see that, but
point.
sorry, Lenny, at least I am brainstorming, okay?
Yeah, but please, we do that on
you don't do that, and
listen,
you say always that you are
weeks,
okay with all. So
Patrick, please be kind.
Sorry,
and listen. Be kind and listen. You're becoming a disturbing element. I don't want to say so, but I say it now. Please.
It's okay. I am okay to hear that.
In. Everyone else,
yeah, it's okay. Respect. It's okay. I am okay to hear that. Let's move on.
Yeah, Patrick, I'll just say I really appreciate all the thoughts you're sharing.
Okay,
sorry. But raising the hand is appreciated as well.
Sorry.
Too.
I will just make a comment to Vlad on consortium. So yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. It's cool. So I just want to clarify with Vlad then. So you think that we can create another table on EOS so you'd be able to see all the past proposals even without the diffuse solution, because that might still be broken, but even if that's still broken, then we can just create another table and then have it where maybe there's a new page on consortium where it's called like Eden Archive or something like that, and then you could view all the old proposals there. Would that work? Or
would that be diffuse easy? With diffuse you would see everything, but with this new table you would see only the proposals that we accepted. And I think it's important to see what we accepted, not everything.
So you wouldn't be able to move all table, like say even if there's a proposal that was voted but didn't get approved, then you wouldn't be able to see that on the table in an archive unless you got diffuse to work? Or to be, I think it would be valuable for all proposals to some extent. Like for example, I mentioned that I curated some of them previously and I deleted them because we didn't pass them, but it's still helpful to show, the process, because those proposals were helpful to decide the eventual solution. So would it be possible to have just all proposals in an extra table that you can view in an archive page?
I think still would be better just with the history up to again query them. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. We can, I suppose, get more into detail about that at another point as well. We've been gone for over 2.5 hours, so we can also wrap it up soon, but I see Matthias has his hands up. One other question I wanted to ask Vlad too was regarding resetting topics. I know there's a lot of discussion in the Discord about resetting topics, and at first you thought that you shouldn't reset topics, Tadas thought that we should reset topics, and I see in this proposal you wrote that topics are deleted or reset, so you think it's best to have the topics reset basically, at least for now?
Yeah, the last point that Tadas made sense. That it will be cleaner if we delete everything. So from organizational perspective, I do agree that it would be better to start with a clean sheet, so to say, but it would require a little bit more work because, again, the poll creators would have to create again and everybody would have to vote again, but it's cleaner. So both ways is okay for starters. I mean, we can always iterate and switch if something is not working.
Okay, sounds great. I think that makes sense. Thank you, Vlad, very much. And thanks also to Tadas for sharing all those thoughts about that. I'll pass on to Matthias now.
Yeah, thanks. I just wanted to ask real quick, did you guys already talk about moderation? And because I think that's much needed, and it would solve also a lot of the problems that were already talked about when it comes to deciding when it's enough time that we spoke about a proposal or whatever, and a moderator, just like a dictator, decides, okay, now it's over, we move on to the next topic. And the moderator could be determined, of course, also either by the council or being voted on or whatever. I'm just curious if you ever brainstormed about that yet.
Yeah.
Yes, we have already brainstormed of that. Oh, sorry. I raised my hand. Thank you. We
Yeah.
have. I am the initiator of the brainstorming session, by the way, and I was already doing brainstorming session with Jesse on this year for the Fractally on EOS, by the way. So yeah, we have already addressed that. Dance enjoy, and it is recorded, and Lenny was stating, and everyone.
What was the outcome? I mean, what was the
nothing, as always.
Okay.
That's why Felix has left. Because there is no, I say the truth, and it is recorded, by the way. I have no.
Can you send me the link to the recording, Patrick? Because we can shorten this here. Then I can just look what you guys talked about.
You can go on every recording that we made with Felix, and you will see the problem.
Can you send me the link? Then I will look it up. Thanks.
Do you go into the Eden create? Dan, can you send
which link is it that? I'm sorry, I missed that part. Which link is it that you want, Matthias? Or what specifically you're asking for?
About moderation. If you guys already talked about moderation in general.
Yeah.
And if there
during 5 weeks we have discussed of that here into those recorded Eden+Fractal meeting on the Wednesday with Felix. That should be normally a kind of moderation, but we were coming to a, let's say, intermediate consensus that this Eden+Fractal is not about just one person. We are many people in this, and the moderation will come naturally if there is an agenda before the breakout room, like Eric was stating. Thank you. Like this, we know what we are doing when we are coming into those meetings, and that will become naturally that the people are not speaking too much in other things when the things are clear. So the things will be naturally. And there was also Sebastian Bayer coming one time here, your German fellow guy that is interviewing Matthias sometimes. Sebastian Bayer was also of EOS Support, stating that EOS Support is succeeding also because they have made some, let's say, one organization a little bit centralized to make things more rapid. Us here, we want to be very fractal. That's the way. We want to be very fractal. And we are not answering sometimes to the previous question. We come always with new things. So we have to maybe solutionate first the previous tone before to want to come every time with something new. So sorry, I don't want to say that Vlalendas and Kajendas are not good. That's great. That's fantastic. Maybe then you will write another article tomorrow. Maybe that's possible. I know you. But yeah, there are a lot of people like Matthias here thinking the same. Yeah, what we are doing in, and I am not well placed now because I am not was raising my hand before. Sorry for that. But I just want to say, I try to do my best and to say what I think here. Okay. So I think, yeah, we need a little bit moderation. We are small. We have to make some precedent. Not only raise the hand, but be committed on the point here.
Yep.
That's why Felix has left. That's why Felix has left. He's not joining anymore because he's not okay with that. He was not okay for the reason he's not able to join. Also because he has a lot of work with the petroleum projects, and also because he was not agreeing a little bit with this direction. Okay.
So I'd like to respond to Matthias's point with a couple of thoughts about moderation and potentially video link too. It's a little bit difficult, but Vlad and Tadas, do you want to go first, or should I respond to Matthias first?
Go on, respond to that.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so unfortunately, Matthias, I don't have a specific link I can send you, so I'll share the link to the playlist for Eden+Fractal. These discussions were before we started doing timestamps for all the meetings. I think in like meeting maybe 18 or 19 or 20, we discussed this for a while, and this was kind of like the precipice for the agendas discussion and agendas and Vlalendas before we called it those names, because we were deciding how to allocate time, and at first we were wondering like, well, is it just a moderator who decides time? And we're like, well, no, it's best if the community can decide how to moderate. And so we figured if we have an agenda system in place, then that kind of guides any moderator to stick to that as well. And in addition to that, we're also trying to respect hand raising and things like that. But generally speaking, when we have an agenda system, then that helps the moderator, whoever the moderator is, to stick to that. And then if the community had an issue with that moderator not doing their job or whatever, then they could also vote to have a different moderator or have different moderators, something like that. But we didn't really discuss it for a huge amount of time because basically our our consensus, I think, was that the most important thing is to have an agenda system, and then that'll make it easier for the community or a single or multiple moderators to moderate along with the agenda system. We can discuss a lot more in detail, but that's basically the synopsis of where I think it's at right now. And I hope that helps answer your question. Happy to discuss it more, Matthias, if you're curious about it. And with that, also, unless you want to respond there, Matthias, then I know Vlad has his hands up first. I don't know if Vlad wants to say anything here, or if not, then also Tadas has his hands up next.
Like, we haven't discussed the moderation much, but now that I think, yeah, it's really important, and I think it should be part of the Vlalendas proposal. Yep. And I think like the moderator shouldn't be he should be dictator, but the rules should be written. What does he dictate? Yeah.
I'd be curious to hear more of your thoughts about how that could be integrated into Vlalendas, if that adds like another sentence or another few sentences, something like that. Yeah, I'm curious about that. And then I'm also curious to hear what Tadas thinks as well.
Yeah, generally I agree with what Dan was saying. I would just add that, and I guess I am agreeing with that as well, that we need to formalize how, it should be good to formalize how we select a moderator. And currently, out of all of us, I guess Dan is moderating, trying to moderate the most. But I think that sometimes it might be useful to have a stricter moderator. Like Dan could do it as well, but some moderator that would be okay with interrupting people, and yeah, it might make sense. And yeah, and I also just thought that if we have a moderator, if we have a process how we select a moderator, we then could this agenda system kind of we could have this agenda system as sort of a guideline that moderator agrees to follow, but it's up to the moderator to resolve exceptions, for example. And if we don't like how he resolves exceptions, we delegates can change the moderator at any time, and of course Fractal members can change the delegates if the delegates don't change the moderator. So now Matthias brought some thoughts to me that maybe including a moderator could maybe simplify kind of this agenda system a bit.
Absolutely. Yeah, because the Vlalendas, it's more suited for our Eden+Fractal than the agendas, because the agendas is generally speaking the consensus agendas. That's the original proposal, and Vlalendas is more for this Eden+Fractal. We want to optimize the time into the main room. And I am thinking now with what you addressed, Matthias and Tadas also, we could maybe benefit that when we elect. Oh, I am elected today, by the way. I am not a good one into this room. Sorry about not raising my hand to Lenny and to everyone here. Sorry. I just want to say, if you are a councillor, a delegate of your breakout room, that could be maybe your role when you are a delegate of your breakout room into the council, to be this moderator with the other that were elected. Like this, that's very, let's say, there is not only one moderator, that's very dynamic. And that would be nice to see the moderator to change like the councillors. That's the Eden+Fractal process indeed, that we have by Tadas. The councils are very dynamic. So now if you had the delegate has also this role to be a moderator, that's an incentive of more to be a good committed delegate. not only do things during the week, but also be able to do a good moderator into the room. So if Lenny is elected as a counselor into a breakout room, he could be a good moderator into this main room. And if Vlad is also elected, etc., or Matthias, or indeed everyone. Like this, we are improving also the time. It's all about the time. We want to improve the time. I don't know if that makes sense what I say. I think, yeah. To brainstorm maybe on the 13th.
Yep, that makes sense. Thanks for sharing, Patrick. So there's a couple responses or a couple things I want to respond to. One, yeah, I'm looking forward to the brainstorming session. We can discuss this and the agendas, proposals in general. So to respond to your question or your idea first, Patrick, that is an interesting idea. There was some feedback in the chat from Tadas and from Matthias. So Tadas wrote, well, Tadas can maybe say it afterwards, or if Tadas wants to say it now, but he wrote multiple moderators would make it too complicated, I think. I think there has to be only one moderator at a time. And Matthias said, yes, it needs to be super centralized. So I was also going to comment that too, like it could be confusing if there's multiple moderators, and it's probably easier if there's one moderator, but I'm open to exploring it. And then also it's kind of a different skill set too. Like that's putting more responsibility on a delegate, whereas that might confuse it where you want to just select a delegate to make good decisions, whereas being able to help direct the conversation and jump in and so forth might be a different skill set. So I think it's probably best to have it separate, but I'm interested in exploring that, and that's quite an interesting idea, and that could be very, very helpful. And then I also want to just respond to what Tadas was saying too, and just a general note too. So yeah, I've been aiming to moderate it as best as I can, but I've also been, I'm not like formally appointed as a moderator and like that. I'm not exactly sure how everybody wants me to moderate it, and also to some extent everybody's been doing a little bit of moderation here and there as well, so it's been pretty informal. But if there's anything I can do to help moderate it better, then please feel free to let me know. I know sometimes I am kind of more chill and relaxed, and I like to let people speak. I like to respect people and be able to hear what everybody thinks and not jump and cut off people too much. But also I appreciate a lot when moderators can stick to times, stick to a schedule. Jesse did a great job of that in the most recent chief delegate meeting. Like if it's 15 minutes up, then you say, okay, everybody, 15 minutes up, time to move on. Or if somebody's speaking too much, like Joshua did a great job of that during the Genesis Fractal. If somebody's speaking too much, he can quickly mute them and say, sorry guys, but we got to respect the hand raising or whatever it is. So I'm happy to take feedback and to try to help moderate the discussions to however the community thinks is best, as well as if other people are interested in moderating too, then I'm happy to share that role and responsibility as well, and we can work on it to figure out whatever works best for the community. And then there was extra comments in the chat. I don't know if anybody wants to share and speak these. I know Vlad and Patrick and Matthias are saying lots of things, or if I should read that out for everybody.
I was disappearing of my camera now because I am sitting here. I am sometimes a bastard. Totally, I agree. Sorry for that, because I am not raising the hand and cutting you when you speak, and I know that's very bad. Thank you, Lenny, to have said that today, and that's true. I say myself, that's not good. That's not good. But my intent was great. But for the next meetings, if I am cutting you or I am not raising my hand, I am okay to display off my camera. So that's my decision, to cut myself when off the camera if I am not raising my fucking hand. Where is? Oh, here. Voilà. But and you see, Vlad, what he say? I agree. Councillor could pick moderator via proposal. That's an open question again, an immediate proposal here. Do you agree to extend councillor role to be moderator? First you say yes or no, and if there is a majority of yes, then you decide how. Like today we decided an immediate proposal. We want to update the MSIG of the smart contract. Now there is the second immediate here. Do you agree to extend the councillor role to be also moderator? And I'm totally okay with that. We should. And yes, then you're right. There are people better than the other to do moderator. like Jesse is a good one. Dancing Joy, I don't see you as a good moderator, to be honest, because you are too much open. Too much open. You will never say you are not able to do so because you are too much open. You need someone that is able to be very like Lenny. He was hard, direct, and that's good. Sometimes we need a little bit.
Well, as I said before, I'm happy to be more stricter firm if that's what the community wants.
You are. You do a fantastic job. You do a fantastic job. But all those questions that Matthias addressed today, that's great. Thank you, Matthias. We have already discussed of that into, to be honest, into past meeting. Not only 1, 2, 3 separate, but there was sometimes a lot of time the same question coming. We need more moderation. We need to be more organized, etc. So on the side of the organization, yeah, we are better organized. We have the agendas, the Vladlendas, all that is great. That's fantastic. Now, maybe I have to leave for 3 weeks. That will be better, maybe. Like this, we will discuss better. No, it's a joke.
Okay. Well, yeah, I hope you can continue to make it. And thank you, Matthias, for bringing that up. That sparked some very interesting discussion. We have been going for almost 3 hours now. Does anybody else have any other thoughts you want to share regarding this or anything else, or should we wrap it up? It looks like we can wrap it up then. Well, I'll say thank you, everybody, for the great meeting. This has been really fun and insightful and a really productive session. I'm looking forward to the brainstorming session next week and next week's meeting. And yeah, thanks once again, Vlad, for putting together this updated Vlalendas proposal. And yeah, I'm very much excited for the future of what we're doing here with Eden. And I suppose that we can wrap it up on like a go EOS or something like that, or go Eden, or should we wrap it up in a particular way, or does anyone have any thoughts about how to wrap it up?
Go hands up.
Hands up. Woo-hoo! Okay, cool. We can also just end it chill too. We don't have to do any big thing, but yeah, thanks everybody for joining. Really appreciate it. Thanks everybody for watching.
Patrick, you gotta push it.
Okay, let's go 3, 2, 1, go EOS.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And for the people watching this, we are doing fantastic iteration. We have a good Lenny here. We have a good Vlad. We have a good Tadas. We have a good dogman, the best dogman in the galaxy. And we have Matthias Schoenberg, the best private transaction on EOS. So let's join us here at 3210. We wrap it up by stating, go Eden+Fractal. Okay, I do the countdown and raise your hand when you are ready.
That sounds great. I'm ready. And also thanks, Evgeny. I really appreciate you joining too. Okay, cool.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, let's do this. 3, 2, 1, 0.
Go!
Yeah, baby.
All right, excellent.
It's good to have fun. And you know what? It's better to be nice than to be important. Okay.
Excellent.
I speak also for me. To be nice. Nice lion. Nice lion. Okay.
All right. Thanks everybody so much. See you next week. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.